And now, Hardcore Wrestling presents In the News with Bay Area MVP.
Good afternoon, hardcore wrestling fans all over the nation, world, and in your living room. If you're listening to this on a computer, then you just turned into another good edition of HWR In the News. I am Will, aka the MVP of the Bay, and we got another good one lined up for you. So let's go to the HWR crew. Let's get this thing started. First, he's the boss of HWR, and the other thing I can say is, after yesterday's show, Rick, are you really putting Cassandra Frazier in her grave or Andy with a headache?
You know what? That was not on me. I was just reporting what I read, and Andy, of course, as always, just went off on a tangent. The son of a bitch, we love you, but hey, you know what? That was his doing, not mine. So.
All right. Get it fair enough. And, of course, you can find Lance Moss at Comparable on YouTube.com. Go over there and give his website a whirl. Lance, how's it going out there in good old Tennessee?
Pretty good. The weather's finally starting to warm up.
There you go. There you go. All right, today, folks, we're going to...
Hey.
What about Jabroni James?
Hey.
That spaghetti burger Russian James over there. Sorry about that, folks. He's tardy just like the high school years. But there he is. That's my partner. You can find him on Twitch.tv. He is the Antichrist of Divas. No, just kidding. He's just plain old James from Big Easy. So, late much?
It's called I Was Doing a Review with Billy for NXT.
Well, I didn't watch NXT, but thank you.
And also, Lance would like to say something before we start.
Lance?
Happy birthday to that ass.
Yes, hardcore wrestling fans. Today is AJ Lee's birthday, and boss, really, that video?
Which one?
The one where she went all pro heel talking about, I am the best looking diva in the world and nobody in the back, nobody in the audience. I seen that. That was fun.
Wasn't that on WWE's Facebook page?
I don't know.
That was her. That was when she was doing the heel thing with when she was like was it the night after she won the title?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that was.
Well, I can't argue with some of that. I mean, she is one of the best looking divas in there. Yeah. You know, one of the best wrestlers, and she does have one of the finest looking asses.
And guess who her man is? Yeah, so let's get that.
Anyway, moving on.
Well, you know what? I wonder if she would agree with that. In certain terms.
Well,
I don't know.
What if she screams that in bed?
Oh, God. There goes our ratings.
What ratings?
Anyway, off topic. Let's go to In the News.
Yes, folks. Before we have CM Punk go to everybody's house and put us to sleep, we're going to go to a little bit of WWE and a little bit of bitterness. Yes, folks, when you talk about bitterness, we're not talking about relationships. We're not talking about your pizza arriving 30 minutes late. We are talking about a tag team that declined an offer. Rick, we talked about this. Remember the Roman Reigns, Mark Henry standoff, and they took a jab at the Young Bucks? It's been reported from Lance's cousin Dave Meltzer that it was a shot at the tag team. So is WWE really, should it even be really bitter that the Young Bucks turned them down?
You know what? I think this is just the internet just pissing in the wind, so to speak. I don't think they're really bitter because, let's be realistic, no disrespect to the Young Bucks, who is a really great tag team, but why would they be bitter? You know, of course the WWE, you know, I mean, who wouldn't want to go, who wouldn't want to go to the WWE, excuse me, but maybe they just said, hey, you know what, now's not the time because maybe they were in, the right place, or maybe the deal just wasn't what they wanted. But, why they didn't choose to go was their choice. So the WWE can understand, hey, look, hey, no hard feelings. But I don't think they were bitter. It just was probably just a coined phrase, Young Bucks. And if it was bitterness, then that just shows just how shallow the WWE is.
Can I say something?
James, go ahead.
I heard reports about this, but it kind of connected to that WWE is doing the trademark for the Wolfpack sign. That that little hand gesture that the
Oh, that's been going on for a week so far.
yeah. So basically, how they're trying to do it so that you know how the Bullet Club right now is currently using that too for their thing, and so basically WWE is trying to trademark it, and basically the Young Bucks are on Twitter doing the whole Wolfpack stuff because of that whole thing about that about WWE trying to trademark it. I think that's why. It's not because they didn't sign. It's because of that stuff that they're doing. That's what I heard. That's the reports I heard.
Well, James, since you've been very vocal, was WWE supposedly had the right to be bitter over the offer back in 2014?
I would say this. I wouldn't. As I said, I don't think WWE is bitter at the Young Bucks for them turning down. I mean, yeah, it will be another good name to have more in WWE. But as I say, the bitterness, I don't think it's because of the sign. I just think it's more on the, fact that the Young Bucks are being the rebels, trying to say, oh, why are you trying to trademark the stuff that the Bullet Club's doing?
All right. Well,
you brought up actually an interesting point, because if they're using the Wolfpack signal, which the WWE is trying to trademark, maybe they're saying, hey, look, we can just use Young Buck, and maybe they're trying to say we can use, they're trying to say, well, if you want to fool around with the Wolfpack signal, we'll fool around with the Young Bucks. See how you guys like it.
Yeah, basically what we have here is a seesaw match, trademark versus name, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. I just think the whole thing is funny. Lance, are you back?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the situation and WWE being bitter over the offer that they turned down?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily WWE. I think it's big. Let's just call him Mr. McMahon, because we all know he's a huge egomaniac. I've said this time and time again. He's like, what? They turned me down? What? Okay, let's fuck with them. Because let's face it, on the indie scene, the Young Bucks make a lot of money, but Vince does not understand that. And would it be a shot? Not really. It'd be more of a shot if they had somebody, two kind of skinny guys, come out, kind of dress them like them, and then call them something like the Young Sucks or something. That's more WWE shot. I think they're more pissed off about the whole disagreement about the whole Wolfpack click hand sign shit that's going down. But that's just my personal opinion.
All right, very well, and I'll go last as always here. You know what? I mean, WWE likes to trademark so much stuff because, like Rick has said throughout the months, our Hardcore Wrestling Radio, WWE likes to trademark stuff. There's so much greed, and it's like, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. It's always a money situation. Now, as we speak, there has been no CD order for WWE trying to apply to trade the Too Sweet head gesture right now because there has been nothing reported. And now that the Bucks are the NJPW Tag Team Champions and part of the Bullet Club stable, I mean, I can't say that they dropped the ball WWE-wise, but hey, they are a young tag team. Again, like Rick said, they took their skills to Japan, and look where they are right now.
I do have a little bit of a news on this. They were with WWE back in 2008 and 2011.
Well, I would have never known.
Yep. From this is according to Wikipedia. This was back in February 2008. Matt Jackson appeared as a jobber on World Wrestling Entertainment Weekly Television SmackDown, losing to Chuck Palumbo, where he appeared in a similar role in October 2008 on an edition of SmackDown, this time losing the Big Show in an exhibition match on the last standing match after going through the table. October 28th edition, the Young Bucks portrayed Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a segment where they lay it out by John Morrison and The Miz. So, they have been with the WWE, but they really didn't do much. They were just as jobbers.
Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. The more we know. And while we're sticking around in WWE, we're going to go ahead to a little bit of an update to Kevin Owens' injury, folks. So we already know that he went knee surgery. He's supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks, but little thing ticked over that he's already off crutches, and in WWE has already taped NXT so far in advance, he'll have time to recover from the surgery. So Kevin Owens is injured. Supposed to be out 6 weeks. He's off crutches. What does this mean? We're not going to see championship matches for a while?
Well, I don't know about that. He might miss next weekend if his leg can't pass a physical. But like you said, they already have it taped in advance, so he might miss. Because I don't know. Anybody else know when the tapings are?
You guys know?
Offhand, I do not know.
Tapings lasted all the way towards like mid-April.
So so he has until mid-April to get back in, 100%. Is that right, James?
Yes, he has until early to mid-April. I think I would say let me check the calendar. It's on the top of my head. I'm not looking it up. I'll say all the way up to the 15th. So, yeah.
So basically, it ain't right storyline-wise in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. I mean, granted, missing a WrestleMania really sucks. So he's on that. I don't think doing something live, Mania week or something.
Right.
But ain't a huge deal, but still sucks.
All right. Well, James, we already know that Finn Balor is the #1 contender for the NXT title. So, will we see Kevin Owens back in the ring as fast as we expected?
Well, as I said, the tapings they haven't had the tapings, and they actually announced on NXT that the title will be defended on that show. So it's this coming up week's edition of NXT. The title will be defended. So he just got to miss live events, and really you don't really need your champions in live events. But for him, he has. I would say he will be back by the next set of tapings that they do.
All right. Well said, Rick.
Well, first off, I hope that Kevin Owens has a speedy recovery. As far as WrestleMania, you're gonna wonder. I just hope they don't, Daniel Bryan him, because they could very well strip him of the title if they feel that they need to have the NXT Championship at WrestleMania. They very well could do that. Will they? Probably not. But you never know with the WWE. I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, they're at that event that they're doing during the Saturday of WrestleMania week. It's not a taping, so it's just another live event. So I wouldn't worry about them stripping the title from Kevin Owens.
Oh, all right. Well, I wasn't sure. They were talking about him being at the actual event, an NXT
I think
event.
I think he's gonna make an appearance and say, "Look, I'm hurt. I can't wrestle, but I'm just gonna tell you that I'm the NXT champion."
Okay, but I wasn't sure if they were trying to start shining the NXT wrestlers at the pay-per-view is what I'm trying to say.
Or actual WrestleMania, no.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, for me, folks, yeah, HWR would like to wish Kevin Owens a speedy recovery. Good, talented star from Ring of Honor, went to the Indies, and it sucks that he had this injury concurrently. And like James says, now that we know, within those tapings, we will have Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor within the taping. So we're gonna stay tuned. And now we're going to take it to Twitter. Yes, we're going to go to James on this one. But, James, before you start opening your Twitter, let me get this out the way. Supposedly, Snoop Dogg and Curtis Axel were jabbing each other on Twitter because we know that Snoop Dogg is going to be the guest host for Raw on Monday. So let me read their tweets, then, James, I'll go to you. Snoop Dogg said that to Curtis Axel, by the way, better not talk out of line, nephew, because Snoop Mania gonna run over Monday Night Raw this Monday. Been doing this for years. LA is my town. And what does Axel Mania say? Yes, Rick's favorite wrestler, Axel Mania. Take your Snoop Mania out of here, because this ain't there's a new top dog in town doing what for years. This ain't 1993. So, James, hearing that, is Curtis Axel going to interrupt one of Snoop's promos come Monday Night Raw? Hey, this Twitter thing looks interesting.
Yes, that's what's most likely will happen. They got to do some backstage segment with Curtis Axel and Snoop Dogg and whatnot. And also, there was also a report that, JBL and I forgot the other guest host name. Anybody remember the other guest host name?
The son of a bitch from ESPN.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons.
Yeah. So basically, JBL and Bill Simmons is gonna do a little segment on Raw this Monday. So I'm not gonna be surprised.
Well, Rick, one of the best OG rappers versus your favorite wrestler taking to Twitter. What do you think?
I think there's going to be a lot of shipbreaks during Raw.
See? Let's.
Well, how the hell do you piss off Snoop Dogg's my question.
Well, if you take the time to read that link I showed you guys, he took a bigger jab saying this ain't 1993. Basically, what he tried to say was Snoop Dogg was relevant back in 93 when he had all these music coming out. What do you think, Lance?
Yeah. But Snoop Dogg's one of the most mellow guys in the rap game because he might have a little herbal enhancement, if you will. But how the fuck do you piss off Snoop Dogg?
He took his weed away.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so he took yours too, Rick?
No, if he did, I'd just shoot him.
Ooh, violence. We can't have that on the show.
Well, Snoop does have that rap sheet, so I don't know.
And I'm just going to be very brief.
You're right, I just have Snoop Dogg shoot him.
Basically, folks, I mean, the only thing I can say is if this is just to promote, then that's fine. But, I don't know what's worse. Snoop Dogg thinking he's the godfather of L.A. or Curtis Axel trying to call out Snoop on his relevance of early 90s. I don't know. Pick it if you will, but this is just funny. But, hey, if you're going to promote violence, okay, I guess. But in this case...
Only if he takes my weed away. Otherwise, we get no problems.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of which, before we go into the next topic, I would just like to report that Lucha Underground is trying to get former TNA star Sanjay Dutt to the company. So, yeah, it looks like Lucha Underground is making some moves here, gentlemen. We know Sanjay Dutt to be an X Division champion and a well-rounded wrestler. Can Lucha Underground benefit with Sanjay Dutt, Rick?
Absolutely. TNA has made so many mistakes. I couldn't count them on my hands, my toes, and everybody else's hands and toes in on the show tonight. It's not even foolish. And this is just another loss for TNA. But a huge gain for Lucha Underground.
Lance?
Yeah, I mean, TNA's mistakes are like the number of grains of sand on a beach. And letting Sanjay Dutt go, well, dumbass move, Dixie. But somebody the caliber of Sanjay Dutt can only help Lucha Underground. There's no way it can hurt them.
Very well said, James.
Well, really, TNA is a sinking ship. That's all I'm gonna say. And really, Lucha Underground, even though they're on a network that rarely people have, it always has It's rising up. It's trying to rise up. Let's say that it's a rising place to be. So.
Well, very well said. And let's look at former TNA WWE stars that are Lucha Underground. We got John Morrison. We know him as Johnny Mundo. We got Ezekiel Jackson, a.k.a. Big Rick. The legendary Chavo Guerrero Jr. I mean, now they got Alberto Del Rio, more known now as Alberto El Patron. And a rumor has it, not just Sanjay Dutt, but I'm going to laugh at this. Supposedly, Crime Time is supposed to be making their way to Lucha Underground, fellas. Yes, JTG and Chad Gaspard was reported on eWrestling News. I don't know if the article's still up there. They're supposed to be making their way to Lucha Underground. So, yeah, a lot of these losses is Lucha Underground's gain, gentlemen. What do you think? We're getting all these stars going in there. I think it's a good rise. And speaking of rise, we're going to move into a little bit of an update. Now, everybody is trying to be a Rosebud. Well, Adam Rose is Rosebuds, but lately, one of them's about to shine out. And Rick, I'm going to go to you. Jimmy Jacobs is going to finish up Ring of Honor at the Supercard of Honor show during WrestleMania weekend, and he's going to Orlando. So, good move for Jacobs to be a creative writer?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with Jimmy Jacobs, but obviously if he's going from there to the WWE, it's a step up. You know, no matter what you can say about the WWE, you like it, I hate it, WWE is the game. And when you go from the indies to the game, you're making your career, period. That's all I can say.
All right. Before I go to Lance and James, I will just say that Jimmy Jacobs is a very bright star in Ring of Honor, but I just think that from what he said in his interview that, you know, he wanted more out of wrestling and he wanted to go outside the venue and he wanted to go to WWE just to be a writer, so he will not be a wrestler. So just to put that on the safe side, I mean, yeah. Lance, to you.
Sad that he won't be in wrestling anymore. Won't till he leaves WWE, which that could be. But honestly, this can only be a good thing because WWE wise, because if one more person in creative that's not a damn soap opera writer, and it's somebody who knows the damn business.
Very well said, James.
Just on to what Lance said. I mean, here's the thing: you look at Jimmy Jacobs. It's in the report. It says the idea is that NXT has a lot of talent from the Indies and international scene. More coming soon that many of who Jimmy Jacobs know. He's familiar with them. So basically, he's helping them out in the creative because he knows most of the guys that's there. Example: Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Kenta, and all them. And basically, he can help create stories, and at least it's not a damn soap opera writer, because look at the main roster now.
Yes. And we're gonna keep it in Ring of Honor with a little bit of countryness, Lance. The Briscoes, supposedly that they're gonna be heading up to NXT. Jay Briscoe's the champion, so if this is true, they're gonna drop the belt, and reportedly they're gonna have more tag teams in the summer. What you got?
The fact that them boys are going to WWE kind of concerns me a little bit because they seem a little too hard-edged for WWE. I don't want them to fuck up the character.
Right. Well, Rick, would you agree with Lance? Them boys in Ring of Honor, will they just water them down?
Well, I have to agree with Lance to a point because, you know, when you look at somebody first off like Kevin Owens, who is very kind of hard-edged. He's kind of kept that hard edge, but right now he's also in NXT. NXT, I think they'll keep that hard edged, but once they get over into Raw, that hard edge could very well change. It's what happens when you get up to the main roster. Everything changes. So, but then again, it could be years. It could be up until like almost 3 years before that happens. And by then, Triple H could be in charge. And if that happens, it could be a totally different game. That's the thing with the WWE. That beast changes from year to year to year. You look up about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had the Attitude Era. And now we're kind of like in a PG era, kind of like where it's, where everything's all happy, joy. We already, not sure Barney's going to come down the goddamn fucking ramp.
Don't give them the ideas, Rick.
Hey, Rick, don't mention Barney. You may insult some children that watch our show. You may want to...
But also then it's weird because also, it's on that same note, we've seen other things where it's, as much as PG era, we see them kind of stepping over that line a little bit. Not a lot, not often, but it does happen. So you're wondering if Triple H is starting to push that edge a little bit, saying, come on, we need to step it up a little bit. So maybe he's pushing these guys forward a little bit more. Could it happen? Not anytime soon, but hopefully when these guys move up, we could see a new turn. But that's what needs to happen.
Very well. Very well said. It's James, as he's swimming in cheeseburgers and cheese over there.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. All right, I heard an update about this story, and I heard that Ring of Honor is trying to get the talents that's their contract expiring soon, something to where they can't move yet. So basically, a lock-in deal. So basically, right now, the Briscoes are locked in until the summer. So they could move to NXT, but at the same time, they could re-sign a new deal with Ring of Honor during that lock-in time, because it just gives time to see for the Briscoes to weigh their options. So I just as I said, I think Lance said, I just hope they don't water them down when they get to NXT.
Yeah. I do have the one thing that popped into my mind, they made the Ascension, as Rick so eloquently put it, LOD crack babies. I just don't want them to turn the Briscoes into the crack babies of the Godwins.
Did Lance just break the fourth wall? Crack babies of the good ones? You want to clarify a little bit on that, Lance? You want to explain that just a little bit?
The Godwins, like just before since let's face it, them boys are kind of
like Henry and Phineas? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure it's correct. All right. And before we end the show, Rick, I think you have a little bit of Brock Lesnar news to share with us.
Yes. Well, there is a rumor, although this is not confirmed, guys. We all have our good friend, Mets fan forever, who's a redheaded...
Fuck him.
Yeah. He claims that Brock Lesnar is very close to signing a new deal with the WWE, but there's one stipulation that he keeps the WWE title around his waist. Apparently, Triple H is the one that's making the deal to push the title around Lesnar, as he wants to keep the focus around the mid-titles. The WWE title will only be what's called a special attraction, which means, of course, Brock Lesnar will continue to, stay out, do nothing but sit on his ass with the title, and only come around once in a blue moon, while Paul Heyman will sing his praises and continue to bore the shit out of us. Meanwhile, the United States title and the Intercontinental title will be held by people like John Cena and Daniel Bryan to give those titles some meaningful, purpose. Now, I look at this and I'm saying, well, I think that John Cena and Daniel Bryan should get those titles anyways, but the fact that Brock Lesnar holds on to the main title is absolute fucking bullshit. Now, I think this guy is pulling shit out of his ass. This guy, Mets fan, he obviously has been calling shit throughout the years and just pulling, and got one thing right now. People think he's an insider. He's not an insider. I'm sorry. Until he starts getting pictures with Triple H and Vince McMahon, he's not an insider. He's a mark just like us. This is the way I'm going to see it. John Cena's probably going to get the United States title. As far as the title goes, I'm sorry. If it stays with Lesnar, I'm just going to be pissed. It has no purpose for it to stay pissed with Lesnar. There's no reason for it to stay with Lesnar. I'm sorry. I'm done ranting.
All right. Well, I'll come in next. And, this Mets fan forever, I'm sorry. I just have to say this. The Mets suck. So if you listen to the show, sorry about your damn luck, boy. But the thing is, Rick, you brought up everything positive about this. I mean, why even have Roman Reigns be built up since Royal Rumble, have his shot sacrificed at Fastlane just to be confronted from the likes of Heyman, his opponent himself, Mark Henry, many stars for the Authority talking about that Roman Reigns is right. I mean, if there's something that we don't know, then, and if Lesnar does win, then what the fuck was this build-up for? This heavy 2-month build-up would have been to waste, if you think about it. What do you think, Lance?
Well, I think this build-up kind of sucked any damn way, but that's just me. And honestly, I know one concern. Brock wants to figure out and I've said this a few times, he wants to pull a Bobby Lashley. As in, hold the belt and fight in UFC at the same time. Vince ain't having that shit, so... And I think Mets fan, whatever the hell his name is a dumb motherfucker.
The Mets suck. That's all you need to know. Or go to James.
Well, in an update to this, people who actually are insiders to WWE says it's bullshit. And the fact that the whole situation with McMahon and Lesnar is nowhere near close to what it was when they blew up to each other. So, that Raw in Memphis, when Brock Lesnar walked out, so, yes, as we said, many times, Mets fan forever, whatever his thing is called, he's been a lying son of a bitch. He said that AJ was going to leave, she was pregnant, and look what she is doing now. I don't trust him. I do not believe anything he says, so.
All right, folks, and that will pretty much end and pretty much wrap up our show. So, fans, what we'd like to know from you is...
We have breaking news.
Uh-oh, let's go to the boss, Rick.
Yes, AJ Lee had an abortion.
Oh, Lord.
And Mets fan forever is probably throwing his food on the floor and probably pissed his knickers, like Andy would say, and his Mets jersey got stained. Oh, too bad. Anyway, just fans, what do you think about the show? Everything we talked about, leave your comments in the comment section below. Share this link. As we always do, we give to the fans. So, Rick, take us home. Where can they find us at?
Of course, they can always find us on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And please subscribe to us over at youtube.com/HWR Show. And you can always catch a ride over us at soundcloud.com/HWR Show.
Lance, tell our fans about what you do at YouTube.
I'm at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. I do album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck woman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants. I got the archives of controversy and scandals from Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And also follow me on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV. All
right. James, tell the folks about Twitter and Twitch and all that good stuff you do.
I'm on twitch.tv/fatboy504. I do my PS4 gameplay. I'm on Twitter at twitter.com/fatboy504. Just find my username, fatboy504. I'm on youtube.com/JTD70129. I do random crap, and that's about it. I'm busy with work, and that's all I gotta say.
Yes, folks, and I'd like to thank the boss for plugging in my show from In the Moment. So, you can catch a ride with me on SoundCloud/HWR Show. And yes, folks, I'm going to be back on the regular show. Next week, we're going to do our official WrestleMania picks. So, For Rick, James, and Lance, this is we'll say thank you again, and hope WrestleMania will be the best one yet. So tune in next time here on Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the News. Be sure to check us out over at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio, and also be sure to follow us over at dailymotion.com/HWR show. And now, check us out at our new location, soundcloud.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.